players over to Florida Gulf Coast to see if they can win another championship in the ASUN.
Two young coaches that are on the rise, and fairly quickly with the success that follows behind them. We are underway in the Levine Center. Emma Norris gets us going. Right in the middle, swing goes long by Grubisic Chavo.
Yep, and that's just something that they are probably showing early on in the game, her taking a swing from the back row. Not always their game. They do mix up their offense quite a bit, but that's not what they rely on.
Tip over by Mia McMillan. Taking the angle and hitting it into the strings is Ava Smith.
And that's really what Queens is going to have to do a lot more of, that dig from the back row by Tyler Peluso. That was a hard, clean swing by Barbara Kohler on the other side, got it up, and Queens lives to fight another point.
Anna Grace Sparks gets the start. So the first point to the Eagles off of a service error. Serving now is Barbara Kohler. Peluso right back to McMillan. Cross-court shot.
That's a nice hard angle from Mia McMillan. Did a little off speed on that, first of all, just to kind of see where the defense is on the other side. As you can see, a nice ball from Tyler Peluso right at the 10-foot line, and a great swing from Mia McMillan.
Emma Norris last match at Austin Peay had 7 kills and 7 total blocks. Light tip over, but it's an infraction for Florida Gulf Coast. Royals out ahead.
It's set a little bit tight to the net. Erica Muhizi just got a little bit too close to it, clawed the net on the way down in that middle run.
And the explosive swing from Grubisic Chavo on the near side.
Yeah, Chavo's going to be a factor everywhere she is on the floor, playing opposite of Barbara Kohler. The two of them could go 6 rotations. And this FGCU team also uses a lot of substitutions. They use their whole bench during the course of a match.
Erica Muhizi, someone who got a little bit of a late start into the preseason, has really figured out how to get her footing, especially as being an international student and a freshman.
Yeah, she's come on as of late. She is the reigning ASUN Defensive Player of the Week. And Coach Bazzuchetto Allen said it took her a little bit of the season, probably the first third of the season, just to get used to being an American college student. Now she's really finding the volleyball.
Megan Kelly has a service there. So stepping in on the floor is Eliska Vikiskova.
Yeah, she's the second setter, comes up with a left-handed serve, can kind of catch you off guard if you're receiving that in the back row. I'm sure they've seen plenty of tape on her this week.
Leads the team in service aces. Layson, wide and high.
That one left the ballpark off the hand of Elizabeth Layson. Was dealing with a little bit of soreness earlier in the week at practice, but in the starting lineup and ready to rip.
She turned right to Stoltz as if she had just made a massive mistake in front of her dad. McMillan up and over the block. The save by Grubisic Chavo. Kelly out to Layson. Recovery kill.
And that is more the swing that we've gotten used to seeing from Elizabeth Layson, really hammering it home from that outside past Abby Tennisketter, one of those players that Coach Bazzuchetto Allen brought over with her from Florida Southwestern, a pillar of this defense and offense.
Mia McMillan serves. And the hit in the middle from Tennisketter.
Tennisketter they go right back to her, feeding her in the middle, establishing all the different looks on this offense for the Eagles.
Serve goes long. Royals remain with their lead. So now Tilly Collins, the libero for Queens, is back to serve. She's third on the team with 18 service aces. Layson to Kelly. Right to Norris, up and over on the cover is Soto.
They They got lucky on that one. They were really scrambling around on the Florida Gulf Coast side. An excellent up by Barbara Kohler, but that put her in the lane where the other hitters needed to cross over to get into their positions, and just a little bit of a mix-up on their end.
Kelly gets tight. A little too tight at that, goes underneath the straight. Point Eagles.
Yeah, I couldn't quite skinny up enough. That pass took her right into the corner. You have to do everything you can to stay out of the net. Flattens her body to the net instead of shoulders to the pins, but still isn't able to keep herself out of it. Always a tough ball.
Reese Burry, the starting libero. Norris on her own recovery. Placed it right into the media table.
Just a little bit we saw in warm-up. Emma Norris was asking for the ball. Her sets, the warm-up sets, higher, higher, higher for all of those. She did a slide step on that one, a one-footed takeoff, and just didn't quite have the elevation on that set.
Anna Grace Sparks is met by the block.
And there's that defensive player of the week we were talking about, Erika Muhizi from Sweden, really being a presence in the middle for the defense for FGCU.
Burry remains with the serve on a 3-0 scoring run for the Eagles. Layson winds up. Norris pops it over. McMillan in the middle. Anna Grace Sparks. Burry with the pass out to Camila Soto.
They've just got hitters from so many places on the floor. You get the headlines with Yulia Grubicic-Chabo and Barbara Kohler, but they've got hitters who can swing from anywhere on the floor.
First lead for the Eagles this set. As that ball magically gets over. Kelly on the dive. Layson bumps it over. Free ball for FGCU. No can do.
You get the hard swing and push it right back, and then a bump over, and sometimes you just put it in the exact right spot. You have a little bit too much of that.
So Tyler Peluso now serves tight on the near side. Ellis Sargent takes her first swing of the day. Overpass on the angle. Anna Grace Sparks gets it.
I don't know if that was pure skill or a little bit of a mishit, but just turning that off to the right side of her hand, just taking a little bit off it, a really unexpected change of pace going to that side of the net.
Peluso targeting Anna Marzella, the second libero. Just gets in front of Norris and nobody can save it.
No, right place at the right time. Barbara Kohler is going to take a hard swing. We know that. Emma Norris knows that. Gets her hands, but just a little bit too much of a drive. When she's that far off the net, she can work with the angles a little bit more. And Barbara Kohler, and as a great hitter, she's going to finish.
Hannah Borer, originally from Lewis Center, Ohio, serves. Peluso to Sparks. Block. Stays in.
And that's just a situation where Queens is rushing up to cover in case there's a block, in case that ball is coming down, not expecting it to go to the deep part of the court, looking for it to come within the 10-foot line. Just everybody a little bit too bunched up.
Peluso right to Emma Norris in the middle.
That's what she was looking for. The whole time she was warming up, she was looking for that ball out in front of her. Emma Norris, a ball that she can handle out of the middle. She knows how to turn it away from that middle block of Erika Muhizi and get the point.
Second try works like a charm for Smith.
Yep, Ava Smith hitting from that outside position right now. They've got Grubicic-Chabo, they've got Barbara Kohler, and then Ava Smith comes over, brings something off speed, turns it toward the wide part of the court, and scores.
Kohler, one of the three players that were named NJCAA Player of the Year underneath Faziqueto Allen's tenure at Florida Southwestern.
Yeah,
Two out of those three transferred with Allen.
She brought a good foundation over with her from a winning program to another winning program, as we see Queens and Mia McMillan rallying to get that point, but a great foundation of what they're trying to build over at FGC with the players that she brought over from Florida Southwestern.
Big kill, smacked down by Smith.
Yeah, it was Smith running over to the opposite side on that one, hitting from there. She went off speed on the strong side just a couple of hits ago. Now we see her get to the other side, able to split the block with Teasley in there, not quite able to reach herself over to get a hand on that one.
Uhizi serves. Peluso, tip over for McMillan. Sargent comes away with the point.
Calling a lift on that one, a really good play at the net. Sargent swinging hard, block coming back, but the blocker getting called for 2 hits on that.
Kelly, originally from Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina. Puts it up and over. Kelly to Layson. Splits the pair. She's got a payday.
That's a nice little cut from Elizabeth Layson, dropping that thumb, turning the shoulder, dropping her outside shoulder, and just cutting it to the inside. Not a line shot, but splitting those blockers to get into the middle of the court where nobody was home.
Kelly's got an ace.
And going right after Grubasic Chabo on that one in the back row, aiming at the hitter. A pretty common strategy for a good server like Megan Kelly.
Coming into this match, second on the team in service aces, now tied at the top. Goes long. But in order to get an ace, you have to be aggressive, and you see both sides of that coming into fruition.
Yeah, both of these coaches handle it differently, as we talked about. Coach Matt Stolz, he likes the repetition of success. He wants them accurate in practice. Thais Bazaketo-Allen, she said, we take risks. We know that errors are part of the game. We accept that, and we play on the nice edge. We go for it.
Vicky Skova serves. Layson hits it over. Anna Grace Sparks is able to get a hold of it. Overpass. McMillan calms down. Collins to Kelly. Cameron Teasley back out on the floor this time. Point Florida Gulf Coast, but a lot of out-of-system play for the Royals.
That's a tough play for Cameron Teasley. She is on those balls that are up at the net. She's going up in case she has to block. She's dropping back to get an approach. She's going back up. She was kind of spinning around a little bit on that one in place of where the setter needed to get that ball. Not a lot you can do.
Teasley, one of the 4 players who have gone through the injury bug this season, was put into concussion protocol after getting hit pretty hard in a match versus Central Arkansas. So she's been out up until this point. So the challenge on whether or not the ace was in or out on that back row.
As you were talking about Cameron Teasley, she's been getting more and more playing time. Started off early when Coach Stolz was still trying to get a feel for this team, his personnel, what they could do in what situations. Injury a little bit has necessitated her getting more rotations in this Queens lineup as the second middle behind Emma Norris, and she's done a fantastic job. She's putting herself on leaderboards for blocking as we take a look at this challenged call.
So the point is overruled. Florida Gulf Coast comes away with the ace. And now they take the lead.
Vitiskova, lefty server, look for that to cause a little bit of trouble in the back row for Queens.
Vicky Savasker serves. Layson bumps it over. Goes long on the swing as Tennis Getter.
She had 2 options there. You could see Vitiskova taking a peek at the defense, seeing where Teasley was going in the middle, and then just shooting the ball out to whoever had a clear shot. Just missed a little wide.
McMillan, the transfer from Limestone, goes long.
Trading long balls at this point. Got to calm the heart rate a little bit in a tough contest like this. A closely knotted affair, and they need to just take a breath, calm the heart rate a little bit, get a pass, and start with that.
Queens with 4 errors. Florida Gulf Coast with 3. Kelly sets to Layson. on the second try, takes the angle.
Wow, I did not think she had enough height under that from that Megan Kelly set to really get a good swing on that ball. A compact approach by Elizabeth Layson. You see it up in the air, pulls her inside a little bit and just drives it through the tape.
Now her fourth kill of the match. Swing goes long for Kohler.
Yeah,
just a little too much gas time and time again.
Yeah, that's not going to stay that way for hitters like Barbara Kohler. She's got such a great arm swing. Really hard to tell where she's going because you can't see her arm.
Collins hits that one into the net. We've had 10 ties and 6 lead changes just in the first set alone. Quick dump up and over.
There
Megan
it
Kelly.
is. Megan Kelly reaching into her trick-or-treat bag, pulling out a trick, finding the middle of the defense, snoozing.
Queens would call that a treat, though. That's for sure.
I was just wanting to use the pun, Claire.
Couple of fingertips from Soto. In the middle, Muhizi. On the second try for Soto. Peluso to Norris. Overpass, calm down. Sargent grabs hands. Burry on the save. The Rockets by Kohler.
There it is, the monster mash we were looking for from Barbara Kohler. Takes such a hard swing at the ball and is going to find court with some of those lasers that she puts down. The block is in the right spot, just they are with her ability to jump. They don't have to put the set right on the net for Barbara Kohler. They can give her some space closer to the 10-foot line to play with, and she can elevate and find floor.
Borer, a transfer from Texas Tech, goes long, has the mind of a quarterback, but that's crucial, especially as a senior setter with Big 12 experience.
Yep, she's been one of the two setters in this 6-2 offense. She's been fantastic feeding these hitters all the way around.
Smackdown by Smith.
Some great hang time and elevation from Ava Smith, really able to sort of survey the defense, find out where they are on the court, and just unload on that ball toward the outside.
Smith now with 3 kills. Kohler serves. Peluso to Sargent. Right in the face of Burry. Miscommunication turns into a symphony for the Queens.
Yeah, this is pretty uncharacteristic for the Eagles with this much player talent. Just a lot of hunger and desire to get the ball, and uncharacteristically letting some of them fall. They're going to give Barbara Kohler a break, take some of the weight off of her feet for just a minute, give her a rotation off, and see if they can get something else going, some fresher legs in the back row.
Speaking of fresh legs, Christina Bishop steps in to serve. And the rocket by Grubisic Chabo.
Yeah, they definitely are not missing anything by having Barbara Kohler taking a rotation off, bringing in Chandler Swanson to play in that back row, get some passes up, drop a nice pass on top of Hannah Borer, and see if she can really make this offense start to sing for FGCU.
Muhizi serves. Sparks with the first touch. Quick up and over.
I can do what you do, Tyler Peluso. Saw what her friend Megan Kelly did on that last rotation and finds the hole in the defense. Another softball landing on the floor for FGCU.
Active setters are hard to keep track of just considering they feed either side.
They do, but I would expect one to come from the other side within a couple of rotations here. They like to outdo each other.
Teasley. Layson kisses the line.
She's doing a really nice job swinging to the outside. That's going to give us a timeout called on the little nugget of inspiration into somebody's head. Look, we can do something tonight that this team has never done you can put your name in the record books for this team against a team that has never been beaten on this floor.
Especially for a senior core that have more wins in this season alone than they do in their entire collegiate careers with the Royals. It is a circled match for this team. On the cover is Grubisic Cabo. Back-to-back out-of-play balls. Free opportunity. Kelly to McMillan. Grubisic Cabo, no can do. Block with Cameron Teasley and Elizabeth Layson.
Teasley stomping around the court like Frankenstein after taking that ball from Grubisic Chabo straight down, had her hands in the perfect position, hiking over.
Set point number 1 for the Royals. Just gets to the back corner is Tennis Scatter.
You have to spread the ball a little bit more, be a little bit less predictable for FGCU. They've got a great weapon in Abby Tennisketter out of the middle. Show something on that side, and then see if you can feed one of your better hitters, your horses on the outside, either Grubisic Chabo or Barbara Kohler, and we'll get another timeout here.
So, another additional players who have caught the injury bug. She has an ACL injury that has her out for the remainder of the season. Elizabeth Layson gets the job done, 25-22 to end set number 1 over Florida Gulf Coast. And that will cap off the first frame here inside of the Levine Center. We'll take 5, and so make that a 257 hit percentage overall for set number 1 for the Royals, as Teasley now serves. An opening kill for Florida Gulf Coast by Smith.
Yep, and there's Ava Smith. They found her. She's having some success on both sides, both pins, strong side, back side. She's got a good swing going, her A swing, so they're going to keep feeding her, see if they can rattle off some points here.
Kohler puts it up and over. Peluso to Norris, finds the back left, just a little too far wide.
They're going to call that point in favor of Queens. A nice set from Tyler Peluso to get Emma Norris involved in the offense, who finds the deep left corner.
So Anna Grace Sparks serves. 4 with the pushover by Smith. Up and over the block. Ellis Sargent.
Sargent comes to play every single match. She's always there on that opposite side doing great work. As you can see, a nice ball pulled just inside the block, able to put it over Muhizi, a great, outstanding player on the defensive side.
Collins can't hustle after the ball, so Smith awarded with the kill.
Yep, another feed to Ava Smith, who's really riding the hot hand. She's getting her A swing off on most of these sets. Every once in a while changing speeds, but hasn't really had to, getting some great elevation with her approach and able to survey the floor and put it down.
Muhizi serves, cross court. Peluso to McMillan. She's got it.
Another nice swing by Mia McMillan. We've been seeing her heat up these last couple of weeks, getting more playing time swinging from that left side of the Queens offense and able to do some damage.
Norris now behind the line. Ball called in favor of the Eagles.
Yeah, calling Cameron Teasley in the net, trying to push those hands over to not let the ball come across and roll down the front of your body, getting a good pike over the net, but just a little bit too close with the rest of the body touching the net. Point awarded to the Eagles.
Vikiskova now serves, a transfer from Akron, a member of the MAC. Overpass cashed in on for Camila Soto.
Camila Soto is another one of the unsung hitters on this FGCU team. Coach Thais Bazaqueto Allen using a lot of her bench, reeling out a lot of her players. Nobody gets too lethargic if you're playing for this team.
That one goes long.
to call a challenge on that. Coach Thais Bazzicato-Allen thinks that it caught some line from where she was standing, and she may just want to get her team a breather as well while we take a look at this.
As that would tie the game rather than having a 2-point advantage over Queens.
And they're trying to take advantage of that.
So the decision comes as the ace is ruled in favor of Florida Gulf Coast. 2 for 2 for Bazzicato-Allen.
She's got good eyes over there.
High volleyball IQ, not just from coach, but from the rest of her team.
I mean, she's a Hall of Famer, right? That's a Hall of Fame call.
Absolutely. Savitskikova serves, turns it into an ace. Back-to-back aces, especially after a pause, now extends this lead to 3.
Yeah, that's one of those timeouts that often affects the server. But Coach Bazzicato-Allen, she says that she likes her team to thrive on the pressure. She wants them to feel it and fight through it.
Peluso to Teasley. She finds gold.
Yep, able to get that one past Abby Tennisketter in the middle. Formidable block in the middle for Florida Gulf Coast. Just puts it in the right spot, turns it, cuts it to the right side, and finds that right back corner.
Snaps the 4-0 scoring run for the Eagles. So now Megan Kelly behind the service line. Just barely over the tape. Marzella with the pass to Soto. Goes the opposite direction.
Yeah, and that one was just an out-of-system ball. The service going to the setter, the Tiskova, as she's moving up into her position. She has to receive the serve. So an out-of-system ball, the set coming from the back row, not quite where it was supposed to be.
Just a long pass, tapped over. Lifesavers in the middle. Recovery kill by Soto on the far side.
Yep, little miscommunication on that one. Trying to run quick, some pace, some tempo out of the middle. As we see the service zone being called by Coach Bazzicato-Allen.
It's up and over. Collins takes the first touch. Layson with the swing. Right in the middle. All it takes is a tap by Tennisketter.
That was a very nice ball. Eliska Batiskova put the ball just a little bit out away from Tennisketter. She had to just fold her hand to turn it inside, just put some spin on it and try and curve it around the block. Very effective.
Kelly to Layson. Collins underneath. Kelly calls her off. McMillan goes over the block. Cross-court kill. All over that was Camila Soto.
Yeah, still getting off some good swings in the front row, using some slightly different personnel for FGCU, but maybe just a little bit rattled by that collision near the front between Tilly Collins and Megan Kelly.
Overpass, cashed in on. The points begin to mound as it is now a 4-0 scoring run, which forces Coach Stoltz to call the still a 5-point gap between either of these two teams. Teasley with the opening kill. And icing the Eagles works.
And that's a great reach by Cameron Teasley on that set by Megan Kelly. Really had to go all the way around with her arm swing and put it down.
McMillan serves. Sparks on the save. Layson hammers it. Katie Gillis has no match for the block.
Katie Gillis had some great minutes when Barbara Kohler was out of this lineup. She knows how to put a great swing on the ball and has the experience, but not able to connect on that.
Make it 3 in a row as the ace extends the scoring run for the Royals.
I think maybe Ketchup Guy was good luck.
Ketchup over mustard every day. McMillan serves. Tooling the block is Gillis, the Loveland, Ohio native.
Yep, she's got a nice swing for a freshman, enough experience in this system to know doesn't have to be the hammer to the nail every time. Makes a little bit off, cuts it inside the block and finds the floor.
Kelly to Sparks, rips it into the back corner.
Anna Grace Sparks, that is no easy swing going up against the reigning Defensive Player of the Week, Erica Muhizi, as we see the set comes outside and able to put it through.
Service error by Tilly Collins.
Tilly Collins, normally very reliable from the service line. She's the one you would want when you've got a 2 to 3 point deficit, able to catch you up with just a cup, catch you up with just a cup. I mean, I can keep going.
For those of you at home, we're just having a grand old time. 100 grand even.
Oh no, candy bun.
So the point awarded to Florida Gulf Coast off of the mistake from Queens.
Yeah, just a little bit of sloppy hands from Megan Kelly there, calling the double hit, getting the point back over to the Eagles.
Sparks to Kelly. Layson targets Burry. Up and over is Grubisic Cabo. Norris splits the pair on the save. Norris to Layson. Just poked by Sparks. Gillis tools the block.
There's a lot of different stuff going on with that play. Balls swung on, blocked, 50-50. Break music that we have in between, very different styles there as well.
So there was indeed 4 touches. Allen drops her head back, and Queens gets to double digits. After a prolonged break and lots of debating, they come away with the point.
And I can see Yulia Grubisic-Chabo arguing that it is a block point here by Ava Smith. I'm not sure anybody's buying that when your arm is coming up from flat against your body. A block touch would not count in that addition in the calculus there. But that argument, I mean, you got to give them credit for trying.
As long as you can say you've tried, that's all that matters. So
Coach Mazzucchetto, Allen is still trying.
Still going at the conversation of trying to get an explanation.
She was one of our most fascinating coach interviews that we've done this season, Claire. She really has a game face when she gets on the court, but was the nicest person when we talked to her, was very excited about her recent induction into the Junior College Volleyball Hall of Fame last week. She opened up, really kind of got effusive talking about herself, and coaches don't like to do that in her season. Her 6 seasons at Florida Southwestern Junior College, she won a ton, including 3 back-to-back national championships for that squad. But she still had a regret when she was talking to us about those teams at Florida Southwestern. They had a record of
Cross-court kill. Smith.
Nice ball from Ava Smith. You have to just go back, feed your outside after something like that, not run too fancy of an offense after you've been standing around. Your timing's going to be a little bit off. So pushing it to that far pin and getting your hot hitter back involved, as we see Coach Mazzucchetto Allen calling the service zone.
Chandler Swanson serves as a specialist. Norris on the attempt. Grubisic, Cabo, no match for Sparks and Norris.
Emma Norris, it's good to see them getting her involved on the offensive side of the ball, but she is so invaluable on the defensive side of the ball. She is the sheriff patrolling up there.
Grubisic, Cabo hits the seam.
And that's really nice ball placement from the setter, Hannah Borer, getting pulled away from the net toward the 10-foot line to throw that ball up toward the pin on the outside where her outside hitter, can do damage.
So the Eagles are the first to 15. Muhizi to Collins. Peluso with the dump. Her second one of the day.
Why not dip into that treat bag one more time? They haven't been able to stop it yet. You can't overuse something like that, but Queens does have to pull out a few more tricks It's not a super complicated offense that they run, but they do need to keep some things in the back of mind for FGCU other than a missed serve.
Queens.
Tiskeva checking in for service and to set for FGCU.
Someone who's been considered really crucial behind the line in big moments, especially when they played Florida International, who they split their series with this season.
Ooh, a lot of movement on that ball.
McMillan rockets that.
Wow. Just hammers that line. A very well delivered ball from Megan Kelly, pushes it to the pin, and that fake by Cameron Teasley just holds the middle blocker in place, and so gets an isolation and able to find a home on the line.
Kelly serves. Easy kill in the middle for Tennis-Getter.
Something Abby Tennis-Getter does really well. They involve all of their hitters, as we see Katie Gillis checking back in, see if she can get off some good swings the way she did in the previous rotation.
Grabicic Chicabo. McMillan, roll shot. Collins, right back to McMillan, applies the pressure. Layson to Kelly. Right back to Layson, tools the block, it bounces around.
That was a nice hammer through that block. Goes through, maybe catches a piece of Abby Tennis-Getter, who looks a little bit shaken up as to why she didn't respond after that ball. Might have bounced back and gotten her in the nose, and eye waterer there, as Eliska Batiskova was able to get that ball up off of the block, but unable to convert.
Just a light push down the near side for Gillis.
Yep, sign that she had room on that side. One blocker, Elizabeth Layson, able to push high, try to find hands, and just find some court, get something going for the Eagles.
Burry, originally from Windermere, Florida. Overpass, cashed in on.
Erica Muhizi getting a cookie there, just pushes it to the right side, takes the smart play to the right, and that's going to force a Queens timeout.
The second and final timeout for Coach Stoltz, as this is now back to a 5-point match. He originally called his first timeout.
You kind of know what they're going to do. The tendencies are very different when you have played in a different country and have been taught different things, and you don't always know what they're going to do.
So Burry restarts action, targets Anna Grace Sparks on the ace. And they are the first to 20.
That's a nice set, hitting it off the right side of her hand, or a nice serve rather. That's a tough spot to put the ball, giving ourselves some cross court to deal with.
Burry back to Sparks. Layson grabs hands. In the middle is Chavo. Peluso to Teasley. Cross court smackdown by Gillis.
And there it is, that outside presence that they've been missing a little bit of. Normally that would be a Barbara Kohler rotation, maybe feeling some effects of not having her legs under her, but Gillis, the freshman, hits the ball high, a short approach, and puts it down.
Collins with the first touch. Layson grabs a hold of the nets, and she knew it the moment that it came off her hand.
You can see her eyes getting big on that when you've got a set that's that tight on the net from Megan Kelly. You just want to punish a ball, try to put it down on the 10-foot line, but grabbed a little bit too much time.
So Burry leading a 5-0 scoring run. Layson with the makeup kill.
That is no easy feat against that block out there. A couple of 6-footers easily with Erica Muhizi in the middle, talking to her coach, getting a little bit of encouragement, maybe an adjustment.
Collins serves. Gillis, cross-court shot. Keep feeding the hand that's hot.
That is a hard angle, and to put it down with two blockers on you, one of them being Emma Norris setting the middle, and to put it down inside the 10-foot line. Cross-court That's an amazing reach, a great cut. They've really got something with her.
So Borer steps back to serve as Muhizi makes her way back out onto the floor. Sparks targeted again. McMillan on the chase, bumped over by Kelly. Muhizi able to get a hold of it. And that is set point for Florida Gulf Coast.
Just get that show me point out of the middle. I would look for them to go to the outside, Ava Smith, if the ball comes back.
No problemo for Erica Muhizi for the 25th and final point to make it a 10-point difference at the end of set number 2. 25-15. It is a 1-1 match here inside of the Levine Center. We head on into
hitting percentage over for Florida Gulf Coast. They've got Katie Gillis, who's come in for Barbara Kohler, and she has caught up with the team leaders in kills.
both balanced offenses, as just as you mentioned, Gillis has rang true, comes in with now her 6th kill of the night.
Yep, and she is now atop the leaderboard up there with Ava Smith in number of kills, not the ones that we were focused on coming out of this Florida Gulf Coast attack.
And that's part of the coaching philosophy that Coach Stoltz brings to the table with this Royals program, is that you never know who's going to have a career day. And for Gillis, that seems to be the case.
That is exactly right. He said that to us earlier in the week when we were talking to him. You just don't know when it's some other team's World Series. And one too many times going to that dump shot for Tyler Peluso. They've sniffed it out at this point. Got to find some hammers on this offense for Queens.
But the hammer coming from Muhizi on the near side. So the Eagles out with a quick 2-0 jump. Borer on the serve. Gives high expectations for her team and really has a lot of accountability throughout the course of a match. Sargent with the swing. Gillis rockets that.
That is tough to know what to do with when you've got your best blocker in Emma Norris up there. She's in charge of the middle of the floor. She can't get everything, but she is establishing the middle. And Gillis just hitting around her, sharp angle at the 10-foot line.
Peluso had a tough touch on it, wanted to feed Norris, but just a little too late. Eagles out with a 4-0 start. Still Queens in search of their first point.
Yeah, that's a tough ball when you're a setter. You can't get two hands on it. If it ends up rolling out of your hand the way that one did, there's just not a lot anybody can do offensively with that ball.
McMillan to Sparks. Roll shot. Borer with Norris on a block. Gillis right back to Norris. The stone wall cold Emma Norris.
And that's what we were talking about just on that previous swing. Emma Norris is taking the inside. She is shoulder to shoulder with Ellis Sargent and put herself just a little more in the middle of the court to take that shot away from Gillis.
Peluso to McMillan. Block goes wayside. Point Royals.
Another nice swing from Mia McMillan, wherever she is on the floor, putting an excellent swing on the ball these last few matches, getting her A game on.
Sparks serves. Tooling the block on the near side is Smith.
A lot of back and forth at the front of the net so far. It's going to come down to setters' decisions where they are putting the ball, mix things up a little bit. If you can hold that middle blocker in place just an extra beat to get an outside hitter open or somebody else who can put a nice swing on the ball, that's what it'll come down to.
Swanson, a sophomore transfer from Boston College. Peluso to Sargent. Bounces off the top of the noggin from Muhizi.
And that is the typical Ellis Sargent swing from that side. She turns it inside the block as we see the replay here. Stretches out, gets hands on the block. The reigning defensive player of the week for the ASUN, Erica Muhizi.
An hour later.
There it is. We knew it was coming at some point. There's only so many times that one team could do a setter dump like that and have success. They all want to outdo each other. We knew that one was coming at some point, and there it is.
And especially for a team like Queens, who has been so active at the net with their setters, it was just going to be a mere time of when Florida Gulf Coast was going to join in on the fun. Muhizi serves. Collins with the pass to McMillan. Roll shot. Saved by Chabo. Somehow gets over the net by Muhizi. Sargent finds the back corner.
That's tough for Florida Gulf Coast. Again, on those balls that should be easy ones. Miscommunication between Muhizi and Chandler Swanson. As we see Tyler Peluso put that ball up to Ellis Sargent and put it back. Still a little bit of a scramble after a collision between Muhizi and Chandler Swanson going for that previous ball.
Kelly serves into the net. Now the 7th service error of the match for the Royals with only 2 aces so far.
And the lefty Vitiskova coming in with an excellent serve and will serve as the setter as well.
The daughter of a former pro hockey player for 20 to 30-ish years in the Czech Republic, leans on him quite often, and leaning on herself is Elizabeth Layson.
That line shot, she is ripping away at that. Camila Soto setting the outside of that block, and Layson just able to go right between the block and the pin.
McMillan serves. Chabo up and over.
Yep, sometimes you just need a little off speed as your friend. You expect her to take a swing. Such a dynamic player, able to elevate. She can change the game in any position, and a 6-position player for this Eagles team just takes a little bit off for the defense.
The other NCJAA Player of the Year was also named Citrus Conference Player of the Year, and then FCSAA Player of the Year, and her list of accolades are just longer than the eye can see.
Yeah, she is fantastic. Coach saying she would like the opportunity to play professional volleyball when she's done here.
So Collins serves. Gillis grabs hands. McMillan calls everyone off. Layson bumps it over. Right into the face of Collins is Tennis Sketter.
That's a good spot to put that ball. I mean, Tennis Sketter, always a threat from anywhere on the court. An excellent ball from Vitiskova, where she could turn it either way and get the kill.
And that's the interesting point about Queens and Florida Gulf Coast is they both have middle hitters that were originally listed as a different position and have really made their mark in the center of the court.
It's tough to do. Being a middle hitter, oftentimes you are the default middle hitter, middle blocker, just because you are the tallest person on your team when you're growing up playing. But as you get more athleticism, you can take that approach and pound it from the outside. But sometimes it's just a matter of who is athletic enough to go side to side and fill that middle on defense.
McMillan in the back row. Kelly to Layson. Crack of thunder on the near side.
Wow. I have not seen Elizabeth Layson swing like that. Bending Reese Burry over backwards on that line shot. Right, whistles it right past the ear of Katie Gillis.
Peluso to Sargent. Marzella with the pass, rockets that into Peluso.
They've tried a few of those with Grubasic Chabo hitting out of the back row. They haven't made it a feature part of their offense, but that is something that she can do. She can hit from any spot on the floor, getting a little bit of a pipe swing back there to show something different for the defense, and it's hard to get your hands turned over when the ball's coming at you that hard, driven into the ground.
Sparks with the touch, Peluso with the feed to Norris.
That's what you need, talking about those middles. You want to feed them when they're hot on offense. They are so invaluable if they can set those blocks, set the edge, the interior edge of those blocks, that it's hard to get them involved on every rep on the offense, but so effective when you can.
Swing goes long for Gillis. The entire Eagles squad on the floor looking for a touch. And so, once again, Thais Baziqueto Allen.
Korean national championships as well, so what else do we expect?
What's wild about her record was 87-3 at Florida Southwestern. She had 3 championships for the only 3 losses she accrued in her entire tenure as head coach.
That's too bad.
The serve goes long. Now the 5th error for the Eagles. And now Emma Norris steps back behind the line.
Royals keeping it close. If they can just run off a couple of offensive points here, they can get something going, get back into it.
Up and over. Light poke by Smith. Point to the Royals.
Yeah, it's Ava Smith just trying to do that power push. The set draws her just a little bit tight to the net, trying to push it high off the hands and find a touch there, but also found the touch of the net.
Only the 2nd attacking error turns into now the 10 point for Queens. Sparks calls it off. McMillan hits it home.
And that's a great ball from Anna Gray Sparks, pressed into duty. After Tyler Peluso had to take the first ball over, second ball coming off the bump of Anna Gray Sparks puts it in a great spot for Mia McMillan to put it down.
Now a 3-0 scoring run for the Royals. Snapped by Muhizi.
And you could kind of see that coming from Hannah Borer going up, having one of the defenders jumping with her just in case there was going to be a dump shot in the middle of the floor. That left a one-on-one with the middle, putting the ball over with a little bit of pace to get around it.
Is one of 7 players out of 15 on the roster to represent a different country, and that is just how well-rounded culturally this program is, of different perspectives, of different ways that they have been trained and raised, all coming together to come to a powerhouse team.
It is a talent when you can find players like that. Queens coach Matt Stoltz told us that if you can find those players, diamonds in the rough around the world, that's a distinct advantage.
Ava Smith with the kill.
Hitting on that opposite side, just trying to show some different looks from the Eagles offense here, as we see Cameron Teasley maybe just a hair late getting over, not sure would have made a difference with the velocity and the elevation of that swing from Ava Smith.
Vicky Scova on the serve. Collins with the touch. Layson rockets that. Chavo right to Soto. Teasley's got hands. Kelly can't get up off the ground fast enough, and that is the first to 15. So the Eagles, with a 3-point advantage, push this to the media timeout. Tied at 1 apiece midway.
We said she was hitting a nice 300. Now she's up to 375. But Florida Gulf Coast has got some hitters with some gaudy numbers as well, as that sails long for Florida Gulf Coast. So as we see Mia McMillan stepping back to the line, the grad transfer, who's been so invaluable to this Queens team, taking a swing and unfortunately into the net. Queens just can't seem to catch a break, string more than 1 point back to back to get any kind of thing rolling. Elizabeth Layson trying to implore her team, let's roll, let's get on the same page, let's catch up.
So Grabisi Chicabo on the serve. Layson takes a try. Burry out to Gillies. Kelly to Layson, takes the angle. Point Florida Gulf Coast. Layson confused with the call.
They're calling that a lift. A little bit too sticky of a push on that one. And that's a tough ball for Megan Kelly to try to set on a very high spinning pass. It's really tough to get a good push off of that ball. Had to just lay it up for Layson, who's trying to find hands.
So Collins gives the free ball over. Burry with the smack in the middle from Tennis Getter. McMillan can't get after it fast enough.
And that's going to give us a timeout. Just a little bit out of sorts for Queens University as we see Coach Matt Stoles. They're just all over the court with all of these deflections in the back row, errant passes flying off as you see us admiring the players as they sprawl, able to pinch in and provide any kind of defense on that last hit out of the middle.
And taking different looks in the approach of just strategy, at least with this match, said Coach Stoltz in the pre-weekend conversations. And every time there's a little bit of a pause in play, his mind is analytically and strategically thinking of where he can put players to try and get something going, if it's someone in a different position or just moving things around with what number they're in. So for a coach like Stoltz, he knows what it takes to try and win against a program such as Florida Gulf Coast. They've got the win over North Alabama, so it's anybody's ball game. It's just a matter of finding that secret sauce here midway through set 3.
Right, and he's lost to them already once this season in their building. He said he likes to focus on the scoreboard, the big picture, wants his players, his athletes on the court to just focus on the next point.
Collins with the first touch. Kelly to Layson. Block goes deep.
And that's again where everybody on the Queens side pinching up to cover. They know that the Florida Gulf Coast block is stout and that ball could come back at them, but not expecting it to be that deep in the court.
The BC Chicago has a service error.
And they are okay with that, according to Thais Mazzucchetto Allen, coach, saying that she likes them to feel that pressure and go for it. Don't let up. Give your best serve in that moment.
Overpass. Sparks corrals. Gillis hits the seam, and the Eagles are the first to 20. A similar eerie feeling over this court for the Royals, especially because it was 2014 midway through set 2 at this point.
Yep, still just a little bit out of sorts. Emma Norris a half step late getting there, and with the way Gillis is swinging, you can't be late.
Sparks grabs hands. Norris karate chops that down.
Gets a cookie, had to hold off one of her own teammates, Anna Grace Sparks, from going for that ball. That was Anna Grace's strong side. That ball was more toward her hitting arm. But Emma Norris taking charge, stepping up, leaning over, putting that ball down.
Peluso on the near side. Hugs the line. Soto hits it right into the net.
That call again, another great swing. Did not look like there were any hands on that block that touched that ball, but an error, hitting error. Gives that point over to FGCU.
So Borer now with the serve, 21-15. Turns into an ace. Soft serve works.
When it rains, it pours. The tapeworm couldn't come at a worse time. You get the most bounce out of the middle of the net, so you're going to get a lot of stretch, and typically you have no idea if it's going to go over. An impossible ball to plan for.
Wanted to try it again, but this time it turns into an error.
That is a skill if you can hit that twice in a row. Went for it, came up empty, but still a significant lead over Queens.
Sparks now serves. Turns into an ace. Anna Grace Sparks is known for having a service ace every single match, and it comes at a timely point.
Might have been bailed out a little bit there. That one was staying high. The service floats, moved a lot on that back row player before the pass up.
McMillan to Peluso. Right back to her. The Mike and Knight combination.
Are you going with candy buns for Mia McMillan? That was a great swing. Swinging from the mentally on any of this, they still believe that they have a fighting chance.
So Sparks continues to serve. On the outside is Gillis. Peluso to McMillan. Borer with Smith. All over that is Mia McMillan.
Mia Monster Mash McMillan. Get all the alliteration in that you can. Running a little bit of motion with Emma Norris again to try to hold that middle blocker in place and getting the crush on the outside for Mia McMillan.
Make it 5 straight. In part 2, the senior Ellis Sargent. And that will force Coach Vaz.
The way to break that is with a tough serve. And Anna Grace Sparks, her ball is not spinning. It is just darting through the air. You can see it from here, and it's handcuffing the back row for Florida Gulf Coast.
22-20, Florida Gulf Coast out ahead. Make it 6 straight. Anna Grace Sparks now with her second ace of the night puts this back within 1. This team was down by 5 at 2 points throughout this match. Are now on the cusp of tying things up.
See Anna Grace taking that approach.
And that is the perfect pass that Muhizi was looking for from Borer.
Yep, that one just dropped right in the middle of the service zone that they were going for, just a little bit deep, I think, than what they were trying to do, trying to distribute it around a little bit more, but with movement, it's tough to drop it on anybody in the front row, so that makes it an easy pass for whoever's in the middle, and we see Barbara Kohler coming back in at the service line for FGCU.
Kohler puts it up and over. Sargent, right back to McMillan. Smith, no stop for Emma Norris.
And you could credit Coach Matt Stoltz for that one, yelling tip, tip, tip all the way as his blockers were getting up toward the ball. Emma Norris plugging up the middle, seeing what was coming, and able to reverse course.
Christina Bishop, originally from Austin, Texas, serves. Smith grabs hands. Bishop with the dig. McMillan bumps it over. Borer out to Grabisi Chicabo.
And that one, you can put that one on the center. Borer bought herself an opportunity, running some motion through the middle as though she was going to go to Erica Muhizi, and that buys all the time and space she needed for Yulia Grubisic Chabo to put one down from the outside.
Set point number 1 for the Eagles in this third frame. McMillan to Sargent. Roll shot works. Peluso right back to Sargent. Teasley tries. Sargent on her third attempt. Borer in the middle. Kept alive by McMillan. Teasley on the tape. Sparks. McMillan rockets that. Teamwork makes the dream work for this Royals team.
How long was that rally? Mia McMillan, what a finish. As we see Peluso delivering that ball after ping-ponging back and forth. Cameron Teasley with a smart play during that sequence. That rally moving back and forth, keeping the play alive to feed the outside. Mia McMillan taking her ace swing.
Set point number 2. Megan Kelly to Collins. Layson takes the angle. Borer to Chabo. Kelly to McMillan, up and over the block. On the ground is Borer. Free ball for the Royals. McMillan with the money.
Wow, and that's the kind of momentum they were looking for. Mia McMillan joining the party, elevating her game. Now double-digit kills, hitting .476, and most crucially, 0 errors.
Tie ball game ensures extra points. For Collins to Kelly. McMillan can't get past the block from Dennis Sketter. Set point for Florida Gulf Coast.
Can't blame Megan Kelly for going back outside there. Mia McMillan has done so well. Cameron Teasley on that ball over prior to that set. Actually had to jump twice with the motion that Florida Gulf Coast was running. Jumped, came back down, jumped again, and they're going to think about it over.
You're already at set point, and especially with the player who is 8th in the ASUN for service aces per set.
That's the person you want at the line.
Chabo applies pressure. Kelly hustles. On the block is Teasley. Rubicic Chabo puts a bow on set number 3, 26-24. But Queens worked through some of that mid-set woes and found their spark once again. However, not without dropping the third frame. Eagles up 2-1 over the Royals as we head into set number 4. It's everything expected in this ASUN clash.
In Jacksonville, for instance, so there is a lot at stake in this set to get back in it.
So Anna Grace Sparks resumes her position. And the opening kill in favor of Florida Gulf Coast, Ava Smith knocks it down.
Looking for a touch on the block and getting Barbara Kohler back involved, maybe just sandbagging her a little bit as we see the coach calling the service zone to her ace server.
Collins with the touch. Peluso to McMillan, able to ping pong it.
Rolling it down on the inside of the block on Erica Muhizi, the reigning ASUN Defensive Player of the Week. Not an easy task, but able to get just under the palms and roll it down.
The last time either of these two teams saw the other was back at the top of the month on October 5th, where Queens got swept 3 and out, and that's part of the difference of this match, Rafi, is that it's a completely different starting lineup than what was originally shown against Florida Gulf Coast the first game.
It is a very different starting lineup, and that's something that the Florida Gulf Coast coach had also said to us, that they have faced this team. They know some of the tendencies, but it is a completely different look than when they played them just short of a month ago. Different personnel, different players, different looks, come very opposite side heavy.
Peluso to McMillan, rockets that.
Rolling it down the inside of Tennisketter. 2 excellent middles with a lot of height, a lot of reach, but not pushing quite far enough over the net. Trying to avoid some of those net touches that they had in some earlier sets and able to capitalize on the Queen side.
Kelly now serves. Borer with the feed to Chabo. Cashes in on the back right corner.
She looks for the big part of the court. A really nice set from Borer coming from the middle of the court, having to push it to that outside pin, and that is just basic volleyball. That's your meat and potatoes. Look how far behind the 10-foot line she is, but able to deliver a great ball to a heavy hitter in Grubicic Chabo.
Vicky Skova serves. Kelly to Teasley. Middle punch down by Tennisketter.
Just not quite in position for that. Cameron Teasley gets a low ball she couldn't do a whole lot with other than have to poke it straight past into the other court, but delivering it back the other way, maybe finding her on her heels, was Abby Tennisketter.
Sparks calls everybody off. Layson gets past the block. Burry with the pass out to Grubicic Chabo. Layson back at it. Grubicic Chabo also takes a second hand. Teasley gets active.
And there you go. You can see what they're trying to do on the offensive side of the ball. Florida Gulf Coast, they are feeding their horse, one of their marquee players, Yulia Grubicic Chabo, feeding her to the outside where she's getting off good swings, but Queen's able to withstand and get a nice hit from Cameron Teasley out of the middle.
Point Florida Gulf Coast as the block was tried by Elizabeth Layson goes wide.
Yeah, I mean, point is awarded to the Eagles, but you got to feel pretty good about getting over and getting that much hand on a block from such a talented hitter coming on the Florida Gulf Coast side.
Grubicic Chabo serves, it's an ace. Now her 20th service ace of the season.
And they have been going after Anna Grace Sparks. May need to make a little bit of an adjustment in the back row there, pull somebody over. they have been a pretty consistently targeting number 12 on the other side.
Collins takes the touch. Layson has hands. They'll call point in favor of Florida Gulf Coast as it went wide. So immediately Coach Stoltz wants this looked over as he pulls the challenge card of whether or not there was a touch on the swing.
And it may not even be so much about the touches, just...
They're in rhythm.
Okay.
And that's half the battle.
Hey.
So there is a tip, and the challenge is won by Coach Stoltz. He finally gets his first victory.
I think it was all the dancing.
Card. It truly was.
All the dancing is the influence the judges awarded her a point.
Yeah, I truly have 2 left feet, and I trip over air, so I was never bound to be a dancer.
There's still time.
Maybe not. Tilly Collins restarts play. And the smack in the middle by Tennis Sketter.
Yeah, another nice ball by Vitiskova. These setters are doing an excellent job when the pass pulls them behind the 10-foot line, going away from the net. They're delivering hittable, workable balls for their hitters.
Burry with the serve. Kelly to Layson. No can do. That's Muhizi and Gillis on the stop.
Muhizi licking her chops after that one. Got every bit of that. That's what they've been waiting for. It's becoming a little bit predictable on the Queen's side of the ball because there's only one potent offensive weapon that is working effectively right now, and it's Elizabeth Layson.
Just barely in, turns into an ace for Florida Gulf Coast. And now only their 7th service ace of this match.
And they are feeling it. They're high-fiving each other prior to the serve. Feels like it's rolling downhill for them.
Sparks tools the block.
Nice for Anna Grace to get something off the hands there, find a way to contribute. She's having a tough night in serve receive where she's being targeted, but you can see her taking a swing and hammering it off the hands of Erica Muhizi.
Just bouncing off the front of the net is Muhizi's hit, so free point for the Royals, and they're back within 3.
Not something you should see very often when you've got somebody at 6'2" in the middle that's set a little bit too low for her to reach.
Chavo takes her hand at it. Sargent tries, just bounces around. Sparks a little late on the site.
And while they've been looking for some offense on the Florida Gulf Coast side, it is their defense that has really come alive, led the charge at this point. Erica Muhizi getting touches on everything. She seems to be everywhere all at once, and Queens needs a variable. Maybe get something going with Emma Norris in the front row now, mix it up a little bit.
Peluso to Norris. Right into the net. 4 touches from Florida Gulf Coast.
She wound up on that one. Did Grubisic Chavo looking to just throw an anvil in the middle and make Queens back row deal with it, but not quite high enough to get over the tape.
Sparks taking the swing is Gillis. Poked over by Sargent. Norris with a slingshot.
That's the one you wait for if you're patrolling the middle the way Emma Norris does. A little overpass cookie and aiming for the corners, knowing that Erica Muhizi is also there on the other side, not wanting to drive it into the middle of the block.
The dump. Successful.
There it is.
And there
Tyler
comes
Peluso.
the timeout from Florida.
Well, but they know they're right side heavy and they just have to show something else. Deliver a ball from a different platform, whether that's the middle or the outside, just to give a different look to a very tough Eagles defense.
McMillan serves. Popped over, Teasley puts it back on them. Right in the middle. Leave it to Vicky Scova.
Yeah, Matichkova, another ball that is pulling her away from the net, heading toward the 10-foot line, but still able to put a ball with some pace and some tempo into the middle for Abby Tennisketter to do some work with.
Grabicic, Joba serves. Right in the middle, Tennisketter ties things up at 23.
Having some defense, and one of the things that I remember Coach Matt Stoll saying as he calls a timeout for his squad, he will take risks. They are going to stand back and rip it and not be afraid of the moment, and that is creating a little bit of inefficiency in the total number of kills versus the kills that they are getting. Whereas we see on the Queens side of the net now, Marley Cook coming in to get her hands on the ball as the setter, see if that puts them in a little different position.
New ball game. Marley Cook with the set to Layson. Tools the block. Elizabeth Layson with her 14th kill now leads the match.
And that's one where both blockers on the FGCU side, Barbara Kohler and Tennisketter, both looking at each other saying, where did that one come off?
Collins serves, set point for the Royals as it goes long, and for sure into extras, just as the last set did, so will this one. Now, Reese Burry will step back to serve. Someone who reads the game well, has lots of scouting reports, and just the trusty right hand on the floor for a coach like Baziqueto Allen. She gives her the information and lets her run with it.
And we know where they've been going with this serve. See if Queens has an answer.
Sparks certainly does. Cook to Norris, finds the back row. Burry gets it up. Bounces right off the feet of Collins. But it was on the floor, then onto Collins' toes. So Royals at set point number 2, 25-24.
And that is where the bench earns every bit of their lunch money, standing back there at that line, shouting out, 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 because if you're tracking that ball and you're Tilly Collins, you can't take a chance that 50% of that ball is going to catch the line.
Little shot, McMillan. Sargent pops it over. Norris with Sargent on the recovery. That's Soto. Peluso feeds down to Norris. Goes long. Queen says they have hands though.
Not called, just a little bit long, but such a great sequence for Emma Norris when that ball comes back over to her. Some frantic play at the front of the net. She remains calm. Ball right on top of her. She sets it up so that her team can readjust, make a play. She gets the right set and the right swing. Just a little bit long, couldn't find the line.
Coach Stoltz calls off the challenge. Collins with the first touch. Peluso to Sparks. Rips it home.
I think that was just catching the defense of Florida Gulf Coast off guard a little bit, not expecting that ball to come off the hand of Anna Grace Sparks at that moment.
So Coach Baziqueto Allen talking over that last point, wanting an explanation from the R2. So back to set point now, number 4 for Queens. Borer with the punch from Muhizi. McMillan on a roll shot. Splitting the pair is Kohler on the near side.
They were ready for it. She's got a great aggressive swing. Blockers just a little bit separated and not able to turn their hands in toward the court. Kohler tooling it off the block and out of bounds.
So knotted up at 26 all. Kohler serves. McMillan takes a tap. Peluso bumps it over. Borer right in the middle to Muhizi. This time, Barisic Chavo tries it again. Collins on the save. Borer right back to Barisic Chavo. Ripping it home. All over that is Eliska Iskivoa.
Letiskova unaccounted for, as she is normally the opposite setter. Hannah Borer also in the lineup right now. Maybe Queens not expecting to see a ball come off the hand of somebody they are used to.
27-26, Florida Gulf Coast has taken the last two sets. It was Queens who won the first frame 25-22. Back-to-back sets with extra points. As Kohler, the transfer from Wichita State, will serve. Into the net. Now the 10th service error of the night for Florida Gulf Coast. Ties things up at 27.
That would not have been an easy ball to handle, and that's exactly what they were going for. Still seeing Letiskova in the front row as a hitter.
Norris serves to the back left. Grabicic Chavo. Everybody just bumps it over. Borer right in the middle. Connects with Mohizi. Match point number 2.
It's a nice ball out of the middle. At some point, I feel that they are going to go back to Letiskova taking a left-handed swing out of the opposite side. Not something that Queens has seen all night tonight. It's a new wrinkle.
Mohizi serves. Goes long. So Marley Cook steps in as the setter and also as the serve specialist. The native of Wilmington, North Carolina, has 2 aces this season. Borer to Chavo, just over. Layson pops it back. Grabicic Chavo, no match for Cameron Teasley and Elizabeth Layson.
They're going to wear each other out just by celebrating. A big point, hand position, getting piped over the net and turned in and able to stuff it back where it came from.
Set point number 5 now for the Royals. Grabicic Chavo finds open space far wide.
A very nice technical swing from Yulia Grabicic Chavo. You've been seeing her swinging hard as she does from that outside position. She is one of the hammers on this team. Just takes a little bit off, drops her thumb, and cuts it inside toward the line.
Layson tools the block. Serve goes long.
Tension is rising, and energy is at a premium. That's the greatest currency in a set like this.
Tied at 30 all. McMillan bumps it over. Right on the edge. Cook with the pass to Sparks. Chava in the back row with the rocket in the middle by Tennis Getter.
And that is Borer delivering those balls. She is a front row player right now. They're mixing things up with their lineup. It's supposed to be Letiskova who's setting for the back row, but on those out of system balls, Borer's been getting her hands on it with great effect.
Match point for the Eagles. Layson laces it.
That is what this team needs in this moment. She is giving it her all. 15 kills for Elizabeth Layson so far.
This is the longest set that Queens has played this entire season. And it ain't gonna stop.
Why would you want it to at this point? They are trading haymakers. This has become a fist fight inside the Curry Arena at Queens University.
This is exactly what we thought was going to happen. Maybe not nearly as long, but surely this competitive as Burry puts it over.
There's still time for trick-or-treating.
Layson No can do for the block by Erica Muhizi to put a bow on a 33-31 finish for a 4